Hello everyone, welcome to this brand new Let's Play, well brand new for me, this game's been out for a while, of Dear Esther. It's a surreal, first-person, psychological game. There are some puzzles as I understand. This is a fresh run-through for me as always, so pretty basic controls. It does have controller support. I am not using a controller, I'm a keyboard plebe. So we are going to start a new game here. I'm going to start with the lighthouse because I'm assuming that's the first one. I think, probably. We'll find out.
Dear Esther, the morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
Okay, so I've been shipwrecked. Presumably that's not a good thing. What? I'm not allowed to jump? Oh, that's cheap. Come on, let me jump. Ugh. Okay. Well, at least it very kindly deposited me back on land after discovering that no, I can't swim. Okay. Okay, so it's left mouse to zoom in. Oh, I have a flashlight? Wait, didn't I just get washed ashore? How is my flashlight working? Okay, this place looks like a serial killer's hideout. Ugh. Somebody needs to clean the toilet. Paint cans. I don't want to be here. Ugh. Wait, is that a photograph? Move! 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 Oh my god, it's Concrete Shoes Man relative. How do I interact with stuff? Hang on. Give me a second. You're seriously not gonna let me look at the picture? Alright, fine. Lantern. Books. What's this? Is that a copy of Carmilla? Can I interact with this? Something... History. That's all I can make out. I do have the graphics on the highest setting. I think I do. Okay, now I have the graphics on the highest setting. And I still can't make that out. Helpful! Is there really no way to interact with anything? I can't pick stuff up and look at it, but I like picking stuff up and looking at it. Meh. Something written on the wall there that I can't quite make out. The kettle seems very clean compared to everything else in this extremely shitty place. Food and goods, okay. That's cool. Quite like the window rendering. Most AAA games haven't figured that out. Okay. Well, let's go down this path first. Scenery's quite nice. Slightly low polygon, but I mean, look at that sky. It's quite a nice skybox. Don't know where I'm going. I have no flashlight and concrete shoes, and I can't interact with anything. There's a... okay, so this is a beach that appears to go nowhere, and there's a tower with a light up there, so presumably I have to get up there. I tried walking into the water, and that got me drowned. Or got me teleported back to land, so let's not walk into the water. Oof. Okay. I do quite like the zooming in feature, but beware, it slightly makes your eyes go googly.
Those islands in the distance, I'm sure, are nothing more than relics of another time, sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
Okay. This seems, just the tone of it, seems very heavily inspired by Amnesia. Mind you, that's not a bad thing. Amnesia is a great game. Okay, before I go down there... very pretty sky. Okay, before I go down there, between the rocks, into the little crevasse thing, I'm gonna go up here and see if there's anything interesting that I missed. It's a shitty house. We don't like the shitty house. Okay. Try going up this way. The game seems... it strikes me as being the sort of game to give you multiple paths.
By the weak afternoon sunlight. He landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend. But then, he didn't have my reasons.
What are those reasons? What was I saying before this guy interrupted me? Yes. It strikes me as being the kind of game that gives you multiple paths to get anywhere, which is good because it makes for an immersive experience. Which means I can probably find another way to get back down to the bay. I'm very paranoid, I keep turning around. The footsteps echo slightly, and it does sound like somebody is following me at, like, not very much of a distance. So I apologize, if I turn around and I see someone there, I'm gonna scream. Just so you're aware.
When someone died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boat, and know to send aid, or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Do not fall off the cliff. Do not fall off the cliff. I would like to go back up the cliff. Thank you. That was close. Okay, yeah, so down there is the little crevasse that I was kind of peeking into earlier, I think. kind of pretty. I don't trust it for a second, but it's pretty. Wait, no, I have to get over there.
They were God-fearing people, those shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance, that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradiction?
Sir, I think you're a loony. In any case, look over there. That's either a lot more fence or the ruins of a building. I can't quite tell from over here, but we will find out. I keep hitting space compulsively, like that's going to allow me to jump. There's no jump mechanic in this game. Seriously, look how pretty that is. Very well done. I'm super impressed. I'm guessing that's the rest of what's left of my ship. I'll come around the corner here and zoom in on it in a second with my Superman X-ray vision. Over there! Yeah? Yeah. How'd I get all the way to the other side of the island, then? Oh.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Just checking to see if there's a way to go back. In case shit gets very real, and it does not appear there is. So let us hope that shit does not get real. Oh yes, let's go into the cave. This looks totally safe. Very reasonable. Fab. I don't want to do this. Good thing I have my miraculously waterproof flashlight.
I threw my arms wide and the cliff opened out before me, making this rough home. I transferred my belongings from the bothy on the mount and tried to live here instead. It was cold at night, and the sea lapped at the entrance at high tide. To climb the peak, I must first venture even deeper into the veins of the island, where the signals are blocked altogether. Only then will I understand them, when I stand on the summit and they flow into me, uncorrupted.
Yeah, okay. So there's glowing drawings on the wall, and I don't know what all of them are. This here is a neuron. I do know that for a fact. Check out some of the others. That is a chemical bond. I don't recognize what one right off. I think you can figure out what that one is. I hope you can figure out what that one is. A dendron? Looks like a rough representation of synapses. Lots of brain stuff here. This is good. Great deal of brain stuff. That didn't sound good. What's over here? This looks like a place I can go, is it? No. That is not a place I can go. Can I get back up on the path? We've established if I go in the deep water I die. Or I teleport back to land and gasp. I have to keep checking to see that it's recording, because I tried to do this recently and it was not recording. Not this game in particular, but I got through a whole segment of very frustrating game, and it was like, nah, none of what you have recorded is usable. Congratulations.
I dreamt I stood in the center of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside. My teeth will curl, and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rowed to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
Nice soundtrack as well. He's talking about his teeth curling and his fingernails falling off, and I'm admiring the soundtrack. I'm sorry. Down here. A cliff. Let's not go that way. Okay, what appears to be a Bible in the center of a circle of standing stones with... It's not a hydrocarbon. I don't recognize what it is, but it's definitely not a hydrocarbon. I'll look it up after. I'll let you know in the second set of videos. I'll go through and I'll compare these images. Take a screenshot of that. I'll try to figure out what the rest of them are that I couldn't recognize. I think I did pretty good, though. Alright, let's go. Sound changing. Not creepy at all. Big dark path. Not creepy at all. I swear to God, I'm so hyped right now. If something jumps out, I am gonna scream, so prepare yourselves. Yes, thank you, Skype. Go away. Probably should turn that off.
Skype would like you to pay attention to it.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Okay, where the fuck am I now? Okay, that way is a way I cannot go. Just teleported the rest of the way through the dark gorge, I guess. Yes, random blackouts as well. Don't worry, everything's fine. And I'm back on the beach? This beach doesn't look like the beach I was on before. This beach has surprisingly more wreckage. Ugh. Seriously, very cool effect, but ugh. Oh yeah. Absolutely nothing wrong here. Now if I know how this works, which I'm not positive I do, but I have an idea. It's gonna be somewhere around here that's kind of like at a shorter angle than the rest of it, and I can walk up it and be like, yes, now I'm inside the wreckage. And it'll be very spooky. Or not. Wait, what was that? Oh, there's a working lighthouse over there. Okay. Not much good to me, is it?
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Okay. Is that supposed to mean something to me? Because it doesn't. Ugh. Seriously, I'm sure I'm supposed to get over there somehow, but how? Okay, well I see a bit of a path over that way, and then I see a bit of a path over this way. This path looks... Sorry. This path looks longer and more game progress-y, so we're gonna go this way first. The barbed wire fences seem a little bit, like, excessive, you know, considering what lived here exactly. Sheep and sheep herders, apparently, according to this guy's admittedly
I've begun to wonder if
biased
Donovan's
diary.
voyage here was as prosaic as it was presented. How disappointed not to have found the bones of the holy man. No wonder he hated the inhabitants so. To him they must have seemed like barnacles mindlessly clinging to a mercy seat. Why cling so hard to the rock? Because it is the only thing that stops us from sliding into the ocean. Into oblivion.
I can't tell if that's a buoy or tower from a sunken ship. The light's still going off. I wonder how long this game is. I wonder if I can get it all done in one set of videos. Like, I have to admit, kudos to the maker here, because for the game, not even just for the game engine, but like overall, this is really pretty. Grim and creepy, but really pretty. Okay, and that's where I came from, so let's go to the path over here.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital.
Ew.
After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Oh,
When I first looked into the shaft, I swear I felt the stones in my stomach shift in recognition.
Oh lord. Boo. I'm not even scared of heights, and that's giving me a little bit of vertigo. Let's go this way. Back up the hill. What's over there? Another building. Okay.
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there. I'm drawn by the aerial and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there.
Shit! Oh, good lord. Yeah, okay. It scared the piss out of me. Really, was that called for? I mean, well done, but, like, dick.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Oh, more glowing stuff on the walls. That is another chemical bond, but I can't figure out what it is because it glows, and then with my flashlight on it, it's unreadable. One of the paintings from the caves.
My heart is landfill. These false dawns waking into the still never light. I sweat for you in the small hours and wrap my blankets into a mass. I have always heard the waves break on these lost shores, always the gulls forgotten. I can lift this bottle to my ear, and all there ever is for me is this Hebridean music.